Today we're in section 8.2, using random samples to describe a population. That'll make more sense as we get into the actual examples for the lesson. But there's a reason why this section comes behind the section from yesterday. We know what a population is. We know what a sample is. Now we're focusing on, we could call them accurate samples. So we don't care too much about a biased sample, because does that really do me any good? No, it doesn't. So we're kind of trending now more towards the random, accurate samples and how we can use that to actually estimate or describe the entire population. All right, so in example 1, you have a homework problem like this, and you also have a quiz problem like this tomorrow, okay, on your quiz tomorrow. All right, you do not have to copy down the chart on the top, but I do want you to set up the chart that you see down here on the bottom. Here's where we're going to put our estimates of the population. Now again, there's a reason why we don't survey. In this case, there are 840 kids in my school, okay? There's a reason why we're not asking all 840. That would be difficult. But what we did do, and I don't have the description on here, but in the book it tells us that you get together with 4 of your friends. So how many people are there total? 5 people total. And they tell you that you each ask 20 people what kind of music they prefer. And you give them categories so they don't give you some kind of random one. Do you prefer country or pop or rock or rap music? And they record the results. So for me, I asked 20 people, and those were the results. Then my friend asked 20 different people and recorded the results. And then another friend, 20 more people, and recorded the results. Do you see what's happening here? These are the results of the sample, okay? But I can use the results of the sample to predict, and here's the category. It gives you the category on your homework as well. They want us to focus on what percent of the population, or how many of the population, prefer pop music, okay? So a couple basically statistics that are going to be important here. How many people did I sample? Does anybody remember what I said? You could add them all together across, but how many people did we sample? 20. Okay, so write that down. 20 people were sampled. Okay, from each category, basically from each person, they asked 20 people, and there are 840 students total in the school. Okay, again, that's information that would be given to you on a homework or on a quiz. Okay, and here's what we're going to do. There's actually 2 methods that you can use. We're going to choose the easier of the 2 methods, if that's okay with you. You all right with the easier one? Okay, we're going to put, again, we're focusing on the pop category. We're going to put each of these, for me and for each of my 4 friends, we're going to put them into a fraction. So how many, when I asked 20 people, how many people said they preferred pop? 13 out of how many? 20. Which is 20. Now let's change that to a decimal value. 13 out of 20 that I asked said that they did. So what would that be as a decimal value? 65%, or 0.65. So I can take that decimal value and I can multiply it by the total number of students in the school. So basically what I'm saying is, well, if 65% of my sample said they preferred pop, then I can take that and estimate how many in the school would prefer pop. Okay, times it by 840, and what number do I get? What's 0.65 times 840? 546. So that's where I get that number down there in my table. The 546 is based on my sample, and then I use that percentage to multiply by the population. Okay, so now let's do friend A. We're going to do all of these the same way, okay? So when friend A asked people, how many of them preferred pop? 8 out of the same total. 8 out of 20. Okay, so now what do I do with my fraction? Change it to a decimal, which is what? 0.44. 0.4, okay? And then what can I do with 0.4 again to get the population? Times it by the total, 840. Okay, so for friend A, they say, okay, 40% of 840 is what? 336. I want you to try to do friend B. Go ahead and try friend B. Hey, friend B, what's my ratio? 10/20, which you might not even need to use your calculator to change that to a decimal. 50%. So what's 50% or half of 840? 420. Oh, look at friend C. What's it going to be, guys? 420 again, because it's the same number of people. Okay, so that's nice when the value repeats. And then friend D is, we'll go ahead and solve that one real quick. Let's go ahead and solve it. All right, 9 out of 20 is what is a decimal? Okay, multiplied by 840. Okay, 378. All right, now the last thing, okay, and again, we each asked 20 people. 20 out of 840 is not a lot, but how many people total were surveyed out of all 5 of us? We each asked 20 people. So 100 people were surveyed because 5 people asked 20 people. So together, we can come up with a much better average. Would you agree? Yes. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to find an average of my averages, okay? And now that will give me the most accurate estimate possible because, again, each one of these averages only represents 20 people, but all of them together represents 100 people. So if I add each of these numbers together and divide by 5, that gives me the most accurate estimate for the population, okay? So 546 plus 336 plus 420 twice plus 378 is 2100 divided by 5, and what would be my final answer? 420. Okay, this is this is part of how you're going to do, actually this might be pretty much exactly like number 9 on your homework. Okay, 420 is going to be your final answer. All right, any questions? Any questions? Example 2, you want to know the mean number of hours students with part-time jobs work each week. 10 students were asked at each school, and 6 schools are represented. So at first, basically, when you look at this slide, initially, what do you see? Tons of numbers, right? But what you're being shown, and this is on your homework, and this is on your quiz tomorrow, you're being shown 6 schools, A, B, C, D, E, F. These represent 6 schools. And all these numbers are the responses. Hey, how many hours a week do you work? School A, 6. Hey, how many hours a week do you work? 8. And I recorded those responses, okay? So those 10 numbers on row A represent 10 responses from students, how many hours they work, okay? And here's what you're asked. Find the mean of the number of hours worked for each school. So how do we find the mean again? Does anybody remember?
The average?
It's the average. So you add them all up and then divide by what? How many numbers are there? And I already told you, how many students did we ask? 10. We asked 10 students in 6 different schools. But there are 10 values here on row A. I asked 10 students, so add them together. 6 plus 8. Let's go ahead and add them. 6 plus 8 plus 6. 6, 7, 4, 10, 8, 7, and 8. Oh, goodness. 7? Yeah, I hit the wrong button. But yes, it's going to be, what, guys? 70. And remember, I divide by however many people I asked, or however many are in the data set, which is 10. So the mean number of hours for school A is 7, number of hours worked. And then you just do the same thing for all of the other schools. You just keep doing the same thing. So, you know, I kind of tend to avoid repetitiveness, but that's pretty much what it is, and it's all in one problem, so we're just going to do it, okay? And it gives us some good practice, too. All right, so for B, we just add them all up. And then we, again, divide by 10. All right, go ahead and do that. What was your total for B? How many? Okay, but what was the total? 73? Divided by 10, which is 7.3?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead and do C, D, E, and F. Okay, C is 77 over 10, which is 7.7. D is, oh, that one's kind of low, right? 50 over 10, 5. Okay, so we kind of noticed that. E is 80 over 10, a little higher, 8. And F is 90 over 10, even higher.
Oh.
Sorry, which is 9. All right, so we're just finding the mean of each one. This is on your quiz, it's on your homework. All right, any questions? It's just a little repetitive, but it's nothing, hopefully, too difficult. All right, now we're taking the same data set, and we're finding the median, okay? Does anybody remember what the median is? What is median?
Middle number.
The middle number. Okay, so this is number 10 on your homework. The median is the middle number, but something really important needs to happen to the numbers before I can say this is the middle number. Does anybody remember what I need to do with the numbers? Put them in order, least to greatest. So that's what we're going to do. So that second chart, you do need to go ahead and write. Okay, so we're going to put them in order. You don't have to do the original one that's out of order, but you need to put them in order so we can find the middle number. All right, so here we go. For A, say it with me. 4, and then how many 6s? 3 6s. I know. And then 2 7s. 3 8s. And a 10. Is that all 10 numbers? I messed this up last hour.
Yes.
Yeah, that's all 10 numbers. Okay, so now that I have all 10, now I can go outside to inside to find my middle two. First and last, second one in, third one in, fourth one in, and now I have 2 numbers in the middle. Does anybody remember what happens when I have 2 numbers in the middle? It can only be one number, so what I do is I add them together and divide by 2 normally. Well, 7 plus 7 divided by 2 is 7. Okay, so my median for A is just 7. Okay, let's try B now. Put them in order, least to greatest. Find your middle numbers, and then take the average of those numbers. So you would add them together and divide by 2. Let's go ahead and try B. All right, so for B, we go 2 4s, 2 6s, a 7 and 3 8s.
What do you do after you divide?
That's your median. And then 10 and 12. Did I miss any? No. Okay, and now I'm going to go back and eliminate. Outside to inside. Okay, now I have 2 numbers in the middle that are different. So 7 plus 8 is what? 15 divided by 2?
7.5.
7.5. Okay, so that's going to be my median. All right, let's finish up C, and we're just going to stop at C just because for the sake of time, I want to kind of get into your classwork and homework and do some of that with you. But again, guys, you just fill in the rest of the table,
So
okay?
7.5 is the answer?
7.5 would be your answer for B, yes.
What do you get points taken off if you put 7.5?
It is 7.5.
Oh.
No, it's 7.5. That's fine.
I thought it was.
No, it's okay. All right, go ahead and finish up C. All right, put them in order, find the middle number, take the average. Okay, what'd you get? Somebody? Still working? Okay, sorry if you were still working. It is 8. I end up with 2 8s in the middle. That's really nice because I know it's just going to be 8. Okay. All right. Now for your homework, and I'm going to put this on the recording. For your homework, we are switching it up a little bit. I'm even going to change this up a little more because number 7 and 8 are pretty much the exact same thing. Okay, so if it's okay with you, I'm going to take out number 8 also. Okay, and then for number 9B, that's when we take the average of the averages. But because I did not get a chance to go over that with 6th hour, now if they watch the video, they'll get it. 9B is going to be 1 point bonus if you get it right.
So you don't gotta do it?
That's correct. But there shouldn't be anybody in this class that doesn't do it because y'all know how to do it. Okay? All right, so 9B will be 1 point bonus. 7B, you do not have to do. So omit 7B. Okay, we're not going to describe the variation and all that. Okay, other than that, we should be pretty accurate. We've got a good 10 minutes left in class, so we're going to go ahead and start working on this assignment so I can help you. If you understand that, that's everything you need to know for section 8.2.